Hello, hello. Welcome to English Extras. My name is Jean. If you're here, it's because you don't want to sound like a textbook. You're in the right place. This podcast is to help intermediate and advanced learners find alternatives to textbook English so you can express yourself authentically. Before we begin, if you want the transcript for this episode, you can follow the link in the description. Reading and listening at the same time is a great way to improve your English. And I also include definitions of words and phrases I use in the episode, as well as example sentences at the end of each transcript. Ready? Let's begin. Right away, I want to apologize for the state of my voice right now. I suffered through a very bad cold all last week, and my throat has still not quite recovered, but I wanted to get this episode out in time for the upcoming holiday. So let me tell you a bit about what it's like to celebrate Thanksgiving. Maybe you know a little bit about Thanksgiving already. You probably know about the turkey and that there's lots of food. But do you know about the history? Do you know why we celebrate it or what other traditions we have? Let's start with the history. Here's what I was taught when I was in elementary school. The first settlers who came to America from England in the 1600s struggled a lot. Many died. But the ones who survived did so because of the help of the local Native American tribes. The settlers lived because the Native Americans gave them food and helped them fish. And when they made it through another winter, they had a big feast with the Native Americans, and this was the first Thanksgiving. I don't know what's being taught in schools nowadays, but of course there's more to the story than what I learned in school as a kid. The process of people coming to America from England and Europe was multifaceted and in many ways controversial by today's standards. For some, they came for religious freedom. For others, it was a business venture. And while the story we were told in school is nice and gives a lot of credit to the help and graciousness of the Native Americans, as a country and a people, we have not repaid them kindly over the years. So, in my opinion, Thanksgiving is somewhat of a strange holiday in the context of its history. Anyways, the first Thanksgiving was in the 1600s, but it wasn't an official holiday. It took some time for an official holiday to be created. It became official in the 1860s because of President Abraham Lincoln. Before Lincoln, Thanksgiving was celebrated at different times depending on which state you were in. Tensions between the North and the South were rising. So, in an effort to unite the states, to avoid the impending Civil War, Lincoln made Thanksgiving an official holiday that would be celebrated on the same day in every state. It hasn't changed since. Even today, Thanksgiving is always celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. Unfortunately, doing so did not avoid a civil war, but the tradition did start then. But how did we get to today? Because Thanksgiving now looks vastly different from the 1800s. Well, in the 1920s, American football was relatively new. Gene, why are you talking about American football? Well, one of the major traditions of Thanksgiving is the football game. When American football was newer, to increase its popularity, the Detroit Lions, a team from Michigan, created the tradition of a Thanksgiving Day game. And it's been a tradition ever since. Another famous tradition that started around the same time is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. A parade is basically a fancy presentation where people dress up and walk down the street performing or showing off. In America, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade takes place in New York City. It's a huge event, and it's shown live on TV every year. I put some links to the parade in the summary section of the transcript of this episode if you're interested. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade quickly became a big deal. And thanks to the timeless American tradition of capitalism, the businesses surrounding the parade route took advantage of all the available foot traffic by having discounts. Thanksgiving essentially became a way to mark the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. By the 1950s, the day immediately after Thanksgiving became known as Black Friday because of the massive surge of shoppers taking advantage of the discounts available at the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. Of course, different people have different traditions. For me and my family, we don't watch football. So the Thanksgiving Day football game isn't part of how my family celebrates the holiday. We also don't really care about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We appreciate a good Black Friday deal, but Black Friday looks differently today than it did even 20 years ago because of the advent of the internet. Black Friday has now moved into the digital space, and many people do their shopping online. In fact, to reflect how popular online shopping is, there's a new tradition of Cyber Monday on the Monday following Thanksgiving. For my family, just like for a lot of families, the focal point of Thanksgiving is food and family. The goal of Thanksgiving is to get as much of your family together in one place as possible and share as much food as possible. The classic Thanksgiving foods include turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, rolls, roasted vegetables, and for dessert, pumpkin pie. But of course, every family has their own additions and special recipes that make their Thanksgiving meal special. For example, the way it works when I'm at home with my extended family, we all go to my dad's house. I don't have a huge family, but I do have a large extended family, so there's usually around 30 people in my dad's house for Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgiving is done in something called a potluck style. Potluck means that all the guests bring a dish to share with everyone. And my family is from the South, which means that there's more Southern style dishes available, such as pecan pie in addition to pumpkin pie, and cornbread in addition to rolls. Those are just some examples. Now that I'm married, I spend Thanksgiving with my husband's family since we live closest to them. My in-laws are British, actually, so the food they prepare is more British than Southern, but of course it's still absolutely delicious. We usually eat and hang out together. Sometimes we play games as well. Traditionally, Thanksgiving is a very family-centric holiday. I've heard that it's the most traveled day of the year in America, neck and neck with Christmas. But nowadays, there's a new trend emerging for people who either don't want to or aren't able to join their families for Thanksgiving. It's called Friendsgiving. And it's basically what it sounds like. You celebrate Thanksgiving with all your friends instead of with your family. Another variation is the concept of showing gratitude. Some families or friend groups will take some time during the celebration to share something that they are grateful for. This is also a common activity done in schools around Thanksgiving time. It's not something that my family does, but I have heard about many families doing this. Of course, Thanksgiving looks slightly different for everyone. There are regional variations to the food choices, whether you're in the North or the South, East or the West. Immigrant families may not really celebrate Thanksgiving at all, or they do, but add dishes from their own country. Some families play games on Thanksgiving, others don't. It's an endless combination of things that makes each Thanksgiving unique. However you celebrate, Thanksgiving is a great opportunity to have some great food, enjoy some great company, and have a day off from work. If you'd like some extra information about Thanksgiving, I've included links to various articles and YouTube videos in the episode summary of the transcript of this episode, along with some other additional benefits. You can find the link to it in the description. Something I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving is having fantastic students who keep my love of languages and learning alive. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye.